Now at 6 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, a tragic discovery in Victoria highlights the importance of mental health support, where to find help.
Fire shuts down Victoria's recycling center, the simple cause that could happen anywhere.
Plus, superintendent sets high expectations for Victoria students, the 4-year plan making college more accessible.
Well, get ready for the big weather change, folks. We're going into the rain business. As a matter of fact, that big storm in the west coast already pushing almost to El Paso, where the thunder showers are beginning. When will it get here? We'll have all that coming up in just a moment.
And the Cuero Gobblers looking to keep their season alive versus the Gonzales Apaches Friday night. We'll look ahead to this matchup later on in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Shawna Currie.
And I'm Brubaker.
Victoria police detectives say a 40-year-old man found Tuesday likely died by suicide. A passerby found him in a wooded area just off the hike and bike trail near the 3400 block of East Airline Road. Family confirms the man was Ramon Rodriguez. They describe him as a loving, funny father, brother, uncle, son, and great uncle. Service arrangements are being finalized with Angel Lucy Funeral Home. And if you or someone you know is struggling, help is available 24/7. You can call the local crisis hotline at 877-723-3422, or you can reach the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline by calling or texting 988 or chatting at 988lifeline.org.
A fire broke out at the City of Victoria's recycling center today. Fire crews responded quickly and were able to contain the flames. No injuries were reported. The facility will remain closed while teams assess the damage and begin cleanup, but recycling pickup for customers will continue as usual. Officials say the fire started from combustible materials placed in a recycling container. City officials are reminding residents to follow recycling guidelines and avoid putting flammable or hazardous items in their bins. Victoria Fire Department crews contained a structure fire on Levi Sloan Road. Firefighters say it started in a barn. Crews will remain on scene to monitor any hotspots. The Victoria County Fire Marshal's office will look into what caused the fire. A grand jury indicted a City of Beeville employee on 2 state jail felony charges. City officials confirmed the employee is Animal Control Director Lupe Valdez, accused of misapplication of fiduciary funds and theft, each greater than $2,500.
The city says Valdez has been placed on administrative leave without pay and no longer has access to city facilities or equipment. Beeville officials say they are cooperating with the Texas Rangers and other law enforcement agencies. The city emphasizes an indictment is not a conviction. Valdez is presumed innocent until proven guilty. Victoria County officials say several pieces of equipment were vandalized in Precinct 1 over the weekend. They say it's more than just damage, though. Repairs come out of taxpayer dollars, and it slows down important projects that crews are trying to complete safely and on time. The county says it takes pride in serving the community, and incidents like this affect everyone. If you noticed anything suspicious or have information that could help, you are asked to call the Victoria County Sheriff's Office at 361-575-0651. The Victoria ISD superintendent hosted her first State of the District, highlighting achievements made over her first year in the district.
25 News Now reporter Ray Mosley was there. He joins us now to share what he learned from Superintendent Collazo.
Yes, Shawna and Don, along with increasing dual credit hours for students, Superintendent Collazo says her motto is strong schools, strong communities, and is dedicated to giving every student in Victoria ISD the best experience possible.
And then we try it.
The State of the District highlights the district's achievements such as athletics, fine arts, and CTE. But one particular topic that stood out was the Freshman to Freshman initiative. The Freshman to Freshman initiative gives students who are starting high school the opportunity to enroll in dual credit classes and potentially graduate by their senior year. Superintendent Sheila Collazo says all work and upgrades within the district starts and ends with the students in mind.
My mission and vision is to continue to build a strong, robust school district so that every single one of our 13,000 students excels at the highest caliber and that everyone leaves our district college, career, military, and citizenship ready to join the workforce and ready to continue with their education.
Collazo says she put together a 4-year strategic plan to prepare students for citizenship readiness and give them numerous resources to flourish in any career field they choose.
With 13,000 students, we represent Victoria, Texas through VISD. What we want to ensure is that every time we do well, every time we excel, the community as a whole excels as well.
Collazo says excellence is the bar and expects students of Victoria ISD to have the same expectation. Victoria ISD plans to host another State of the District ceremony this time next year. Shawna, Dawn, back to you.
Governor Greg Abbott signed a controversial law in June that several families are now challenging, saying it violates the First Amendment by promoting religion. On Tuesday, a judge issued a temporary restraining order, pausing the law to require the 10 Commandments be posted in all classrooms, while the courts decide its future. The ACLU called the ruling a win for religious freedom, but Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton plans to appeal. Also, Tuesday, Paxton sued 2 school districts that refused to follow the law.
Well, we have great weather once again, maybe record-setting again, I'm not sure. But you know, it is November, you know, it should be a little chillier.
Yeah, it should be, but it looks like we're going from hot and humid to just wet and soggy.
Yeah. Well, the storm that's coming at us is coming at us from the west coast. It is not a very cold storm, but it is producing rain. And that rain is already getting real close. As a matter of fact, you can see it at El Paso. In fact, for those of you that have been out I-10, Deming, New Mexico, out in the middle of nowhere, Deming just got about 1/4 inch of rain, which for them is a big deal. They're out in the desert. The light rain is already moving into far west Texas, and we are already under a flash flood watch for much of the hill country of Texas. What's happening here? Well, the Gulf air is rolling that way, and then the cold, unstable air is coming this way. It's going to collide right about here. So for the next 4, maybe 5 days, we've got continuing shower activity. Did you get that? We'll talk more about it coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
The U.S. Attorney General saying today there's new information in the investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. The statement follows Congress passing a bill requiring the Department of Justice to release to the public its files related to Epstein.
As ABC's Olivia Rubin reports, that bill now sitting on President Trump's desk awaiting his signature.
Today, the files on Jeffrey Epstein are one step closer to release after months of delay. Congress overwhelmingly passing a bill that orders the Justice Department to release its files concerning the convicted sex offender, now just awaiting President Trump's signature. Once signed, the Justice Department has 30 days to release the records. But the looming question, will any documents be withheld? After President Trump publicly ordered a new investigation into Democrats' association with Epstein. Attorney General Pam Bondi today didn't exactly say.
We'll continue to follow the law and to have maximum transparency.
After new Epstein files subpoenaed from his estate last week repeatedly named the president, Trump writing on social media he would ask Bondi to, quote, investigate Jeffrey Epstein's involvement and relationship with Democrats. Bondi soon doing just that. But earlier this year, Bondi's own Justice Department concluded, quote, we did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties.
What changed since then that you launched this investigation?
Information that has come for information. There's information that new information, additional information, and again, we will continue to follow the law.
Trump denies all wrongdoing and any knowledge of Epstein's crimes. The White House has said the documents, quote, prove absolutely nothing other than the fact that President Trump did nothing wrong. Now, the bill does say the Attorney General can withhold any records if they would, quote, jeopardize an active federal investigation, though it says that must be narrow and temporary. Olivia Rubin, ABC News, New York.
Here are some of this week's top headlines in the Port Lavaca wave. After Port Lavaca and Point Comfort signed off on creating new tax increment revenue zones, Calhoun County commissioners got a closer look at the idea as well. Plus, the Port Lavaca City Council tabled a new ordinance on junk vehicles after hearing from local auto shop owners. To read these stories and more, go to portlavacawave.com.
The Salvation Army of Victoria is preparing for its annual Thanksgiving feast. This year's main course, pork chops. Yes, it's a free meal for anyone in the community that wants to come. You can eat in at the Salvation Army. And once again, the Salvation Army will be working with Meals on Wheels, South Texas. So far, they expect about 25 drivers taking meals to around 145 clients through the crossroads.
Oh, I think it's a wonderful opportunity for us to meet folks in the community that rely on us. I mean, it's a good chance for me, especially because folks that come in all the time for services that I don't necessarily see, I meet them on these types of events.
The Salvation Army Thanksgiving Feast will be at the Salvation Army headquarters, 1302 North Lewis Street from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Thanksgiving Day. Today, American Legion Post number 166 donated $4,000 to the Salvation Army of Victoria. The donation will go to meal services. The Salvation Army of Victoria serves an average of 2,500 meals per month. In fiscal year 2025, the Salvation Army served over 30,000 meals.
And organizers are gearing up for the 35th annual Feast of Sharing Holiday Dinner. It is set for Wednesday, December 17th from 4 to 8 p.m. at the Victoria Community Center. The dinner is free and open to the public, bringing neighbors together for a night of food and holiday community. If you see news happening, call our newsroom at 361-576-0026 or send us an email to staff@crossroadstoday.com. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 6, a stunning admission rocks the James Comey trial, the grand jury mistake that has lawyers scrambling.
Also ahead, immigration raids spread beyond Charlotte as protests grow. The operations targeting everyday activities. That's ahead.
In Edna, one woman is redefining what it means to grow success from the ground up.
You know, getting to wake up with your best friend in the morning and being able to spend time with them on the farm and doing what we love to do. It's been a very big blessing.
Her story is rooted in hard work, heart, and a little South Texas grit. Don't miss Growing Success with Shawna Currie, a 25 News Now Extra, Thursday night at 10.
Shocking turn in the case against former FBI Director James Comey. Now, questions about how prosecutors moved forward.
ABC's Perry Russum is in Washington with what was revealed in court today.
An apparent major lapse in the Department of Justice's case against James Comey, who's accused of lying to Congress. U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan today admitting on the stand in court the grand jury who indicted the former FBI director never saw the final two-count indictment. only an earlier version.
This idea that the grand jurors actually signed off on the incorrect piece of paper, that just shouldn't happen.
Halligan's admission stunning the courtroom.
My colleague Alex Mallon was in the courtroom, and he said you could basically hear a pin drop.
Halligan is under intense scrutiny. She has no prosecutorial experience and was appointed after her predecessor was forced out by President Trump after he refused to seek indictments against Trump's political opponents. Also revealed today, the Office of Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche had given orders not to disclose a memo that recommended against bringing charges against Comey.
There are a lot of potential pitfalls, procedural pitfalls, you might say, that could stop this case before it really gets going.
I solemnly swear that testimony.
Comey is accused of lying to Congress when he testified he never authorized other FBI officials to leak information to the press. He pleaded not guilty. He is fighting to have his case thrown out. Comey's lawyers argue federal prosecutors are engaging in an act of political retribution on behalf of President Trump. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
To get more news headlines, weather, and sports, come to our website, crossroadstoday.com.
Federal agents were spotted in multiple North Carolina cities as the Department of Homeland Security immigration crackdown continues across the U.S.
Ivan Rodriguez has new details about where the effort is headed next.
Federal authorities have described the operations in Charlotte as, quote, targeted investigations. Some residents say they were targeted just because they're Latino. Immigration authorities have denied claims agents are profiling. Saturday morning, Charlotte resident Reba Hamilton started recording as she watched two workers she'd hired to drape her front yard tree with lights suddenly be approached by federal agents who came out of a gray minivan, doors already ajar.
They were looking for brown people, and they found some.
The interaction lasted more than a minute, and the agents left without detaining anyone. With operations spreading beyond Charlotte, protesters gathered in Raleigh and Durham to speak out against immigration enforcement.
What we've seen in the last several days in the detentions in Charlotte and here are people being detained, not committing crimes, but outside of the grocery store or pumping gas or hanging up Christmas lights.
DHS Secretary Kristi Noem said Tuesday the Charlotte operation was based on previous investigative work, specifically citing, quote, a high number of child abuse, trafficking, neglect type of instances that we had identified over our work there. Gregory Bavino, the top Border Patrol official charged with enforcement operations, is expected to head to New Orleans in the coming weeks, according to sources.
I can question anyone anywhere in the United States as to their citizenship. We need reasonable suspicion to make an immigration arrest. You notice I did not say probable cause, nor did I say I need a warrant.
In Atlanta, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
The Department of Homeland Security is expected to deploy 250 agents in Louisiana, roughly in line with the number of agents sent to other cities to help.
Here's some of the top headlines in the Cuero Record. Sparks from a tractor shredder led to 2 acres burning, also leading to the extension of that county's burn ban. And the Cuero ISD Education Foundation hosted another unforgettable concert for classrooms. To read these stories and more, visit DeWittCountyToday.com.
We're getting ready, folks. The rain is on its way. Right now, we're looking at 78 degrees. Southeast winds are not too strong, but they are bringing in all that Gulf moisture. And yes, we did. Don, we did. We set a record today. We were at 89 compared to the old record set back in 1945 of 87. How about congratulations? We did it. The good news is that all this hot weather is changing because the big storm from the west coast is moving toward us, and it looks like rain for quite a few days. We'll have more on that coming up after this. Well, it's been a long time coming, folks, and finally it looks like our weather pattern, which has been stuck for a month and a half, is finally changing, and we're going to be getting into the weather business very soon. Now today, the southerly winds continued keeping us on the warm side. As we said, made a record for today, but you can see how the clouds are beginning to develop over Texas and how that big storm off the west coast is now moving toward us. As a matter of fact, if we take a look at this picture, you can see how in Texas we are beginning to pick up a little bit of light rain. Okay, this is nothing significant right about here. Here's Midland, here's El Paso, but on the other side of El Paso, the thunder showers are beginning to pop, and this is the unstable air that will be crossing over the state. I mean, literally, it's coming down I-10 all the way into our area. I mean, it's going to pass Schulenburg by tomorrow night, so it is definitely on its way. As a matter of fact, already we have flash flood watches up for much of the hill country all the way from Dallas to Del Rio. Now, right now, it's only down to Bexar County in San Antonio, but I believe that this will be moving southward as the rain begins, because it's not one day of rain, it's about 5 days of rain, because we've got back-to-back systems coming through. So the hill country is already on watch for a flooding situation. Tonight, not particularly cold. We're getting down to about 68 degrees and about 70. Tomorrow, we're still on the warm and cloudy side. It's that south wind that keeps us warm, and we're going to be up to about 83. But in terms of excessive rainfall tomorrow, this is Thursday map, the green is a marginal chance of excessive rain, which would be a flooding situation. But when we get to a slight chance and then to a moderate chance, we got a moderate chance of flooding rains throughout much of the Del Rio and far west Texas areas. And of course, we're also included in that. So we can say that we're looking for significant rainfall in the next 4 or 5 days. And, you know, my number, after adding up everything, comes out anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of rain in the next 5 days. That is significant. So we may have some kind of flooding situation over the weekend as we look for that rain to roll in. Now here's Future Tracker. So we're going forward in time. There's Wednesday night. There you see Thursday morning sunrise. What do we have? Well, that big storm line from Dallas to Del Rio. Exactly. That's where the Gulf air is going to collide with that unstable air. And then we go forward into Thursday morning, and you can see how the stormy weather does develop. Here we go Thursday afternoon and evening. Big old line of stormy weather coming through all the way down 35, Interstate 35. When is that? That's Thursday night. Thursday night, therefore, it rolls through our area in the late evening period into the Friday morning period, and then it sort of pulls away, but it doesn't completely go away until late on Friday. There is a bit of an improvement on Friday, but it's only for about a half a day. There you see storm number 1. That pulls away on Friday, and storm number 2 comes in. That's why we're thinking it's going to be about 4 or 5 days of rain. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with the showers coming in late in the day. Cuero getting up to about 84. Here's a 7-day. 40% chance late tomorrow, all day Friday, alert day, all day Saturday, alert day. We may have to put all alerts all the way through Monday when we finally see that second system coming through. So stay tuned, folks. It's going to get interesting. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that, put Crossroads Today on your phone. Shawna, back to you.
All right, we go from Mac to Max for our sports tonight.
Yeah, Shawna, the St. Joe's Lady Flyers revealed their 2025 All-District Volleyball Awards. I'll highlight every player winning some of those top honors next in sports. This Friday night, the Cuero Gobblers won't take a long drive out there to Yoakum High Schools. They're going to face their rival, the Gonzales Apaches, and the Gobblers won last week over La Feria Lions 42-14 at home in Gobbler Stadium and got major production from wide receiver / running back Jordan Jones, who had 3 rushing touchdowns and 75 yards in total on the ground to help propel the Gobblers. But for head football coach Jared Feetkoch and wide receiver Xavier Bonner, they're ready for Gonzales and expect a huge crowd to travel out to Yoakum High School.
In the second round of the playoffs, I think you start getting deeper. Everybody's got good athletes. You know, Gonzales is playing really good football right now. They beat a 9-0 Gerald team and a 10-0 Bandera team, and so, you know, it's going to be a hard-fought game.
Packed, like, you know, Yoakum Stadium's not too big, so I think it's going to be a lot of people. I think it's going to be fun. You know, there's good rivalry. I know a couple of the kids down there, so it's going to be fun.
Now Bonner is that wild card for this offense as he makes big plays in the pass game and running game. And he's going to need that this Friday night versus Gonzales Apaches, including his energy, which you know he brings every night there for the Cuero Gobblers. But over to the Edna Cowboys, who face the Marion Bulldogs LP Friday night at 7 p.m. actually right at their Gobbler Stadium. So with Cuero going to Yoakum, Edna's going out there to Cuero for a coincidence. Now for Edna, they beat San Diego Vaqueros 63-7 last week with some great defense, and Trevor Floyd, the quarterback, thrown for 4 touchdowns, and he found top target in Keegan Hicks for 2 of those touchdowns. So Edna looks to keep that trend going versus Marion, and if they win, we possibly could see a rematch with Orange Grove, which Edna lost to earlier in the year, or we could see them face the Ingram Moore Warriors that it will beat in the regional semifinals. Now another game has been moved to Friday night because of the weather that is projected to come there from the rain Thursday. Hallettsville Sacred Heart will be facing their first round matchup versus First Baptist Saints. That's going to be at 6 p.m. Friday night at Bartlett High School. This is because, like I said, of the rain that is planning to hit the crossroads tomorrow night. Now over to St. Joseph Lady Flyers volleyball, where they announced their all-district and all-state awards with Zoe Henning, Jordy Ybarra, Maylee Montgomery, and Jordan Johnston all named first-team all-district and also first-team all-state honors as well. And then Abigail Brister and Isabel Cantu were named to all-district honorable mentions as well this year. So congrats to all these Lady Flyers for getting these awards, and a great year for the volleyball team. And finally, the Houston Rockets are currently facing the Cleveland Cavaliers on the road tonight. Last I checked, they were up 7-0 currently there over Cleveland. So see if Kevin Durant, Alfred Şengün can make some big-time plays for the Rockets there the rest of the way. And that's going to do it here in sports. Don, Shawna, back to you.
Thank you. We're back in a moment. Find out how much one painting was sold for in New York and why it set a record. Tonight, a portrait painting by 20th century Viennese artist Gustav Klimt sold for $205 million at Sotheby's Tuesday night. And what the auction house said was a record for a modern work of art. The portrait of Elizabeth Lederer, painted between 1914 and 1916, was a masterpiece of Vienna's golden age. The work was part of the sale of the Leonard Lauder collection that included other works by Klimt, as well as works by, you may have heard of these people, Picasso, Vincent van Gogh, Henri Matisse. Yeah, they were pretty decent.
Yeah.
They did pretty well. Probably got a lot more money there too.
Yeah.
$200 million for a painting.
And think, a lot of those were moved and hidden during World War II. And so they were kind of lost to the world, and now they're valuable pieces of work. Well, folks, we've got a big change coming in. As soon as tomorrow night the rain begins, and it looks like for the next 5 days, we've got a chance for showers around here. So let's get ready for what could be a big turn. We've got got the advisories up because by Friday we could see over 2 inches of rain, and then it gets even higher than that as we go into the weekend. So get ready, get the kayaks ready is what I like to say.
There you go. All right. Mac, thank you.
We'll see you back at 10.